It has been a while. All right, how do I start this? I never even know. All right, so what I have here is I picked up a rifle. I know I haven't been on for a while because I'm busy. I'm working. I do appreciate everybody that subscribes. Everybody even takes a moment to care. It's wonderful. Comments fantastic. Loved it. Sorry I'm not more attentive. I try to be. I really do. But the problem is well, I'm in like a sort of supervisory position at what I do now, and unfortunately, it requires a lot of attention. No, I'm not making great money. But if I was, I'd be putting more guns in front of that video, or that camera. Anyway, let's get to it. So, we're looking at some cowboy guns, right? I know, guy with a New York accent, cowboy guns. What the hell is going on around here? Does that make any sense? I don't know. Does it have to? So, I'm going to be modifying that rifle. It's not bad the way it is. It really isn't. As a matter of fact, I've heard people say stuff about this is a Heritage Arms 92. It's pretty much the same thing as a Rossi R92, modeled after the Winchester, 1892, of course. And this is the 16-inch barrel variant, which I thought was really cool. And they don't pop up often in the stores, so I kind of jumped at it as soon as I saw it. And I probably couldn't even afford it at the time, but I was like, fuck, I never see these things. If you'll pardon my American. Anyway, so from what I understand, the only real differences between the Heritage model and the Rossi model, aside from the little, engraving on the stock, is the actual wood that they use. I think this uses like a dark walnut. Sorry, I'm trying to light my cigar. So, I heard people criticize the wood, saying it wasn't all that fantastic or whatever. So I don't know what happened between those videos that I saw a couple years ago and now, but I'm going to say the quality of the overall fit and finish on this particular firearm is pretty good. That's all I said. The bluing is okay. I mean, it's not super deep bluing, of course. It's not like your ancient cult bluing that is so famous on the pythons of the 70s and 80s or whatever. I'm kind of like that, but it's nice, It's not even like, I mean, it's on par with, I have this Uberti, and Uberti does a pretty good job of bluing, but it's kind of shallow. I don't know, you can't really see in this light. We're at dusk here right now. But, and of course this has the, the coal fire finish. But, was it color case hardening? But there's also bluing on the barrel. So I'll pick up the rifle in a second, and I just got to get the cigar lit. Be patient with me. Just be patient with me, please. So, I don't script. I don't really take the time to edit. I just do this for fun. I do this for the laymen like myself who appreciate firearms in all their glory, but don't necessarily have the money or the, time to really get just a basic honest overview without being a sales pitch. And I don't offer a sales pitch. I just offer my experience with what I have. I haven't fired this yet. And I know that I have a lot of videos out there with firearms that I have not fired yet. And the sad thing is I haven't been to the range in months. It's almost like I'm collecting stuff that I haven't been to the range to enjoy yet, which is really a shame because I'm falling behind on range time. I mean, not only is that bad for practice, but it's also bad because I'm piling stuff up that I have not fired yet, and it's like, what am I going to do? When I go to the range, I have to plan like a whole day and just bring like a pile of stuff. And I would love to do range footage, but the problem is I go to a public range, there's a ton of other people there. It's just gonna be, people shooting over whatever I'm talking about. I haven't learned to edit yet, so it's not like I could run a B-roll for you. Maybe someday I'll do that. Maybe someday, I don't know, when I get closer to retirement or something. By that time, maybe I'll have like a phaser or something, or some kind of ray gun that I could review for you. But anyway, let's get to it, right? Yeah. I don't know if you can see from this lighting, but the wood's actually really nice. Because I have a Henry, and Henry's pretty well known for having nice wood and finish and stuff. And I think they did a really nice job. I mean, the fit is, it's pretty okay. I got some fingerprints on it. I think it's pretty okay. I did see people's videos where there were like bigger gaps and stuff like that. It may just be that I got a good one, And maybe that's the thing when you're talking about, was it Taurus, I think, owns Rossi? It's just one of those groups where, like, maybe see, it's got a brass beat sight. Maybe the quality control is a little inconsistent from time to time. But, something like this, you can look at it up front, and you can handle it in the store, and you can find out if it feels like a good one, right? Even the cocking, like I heard people say it's so gritty and stuff. This is actually pretty good. Even the trigger, there's like zero take-up on the trigger. It's like, that's it, And it just goes. It's not heavy at all. I think that the cocking is pretty light. I did lube it up. I did do that. It was a little grittier. And I think it'll probably work itself in. I see people doing crazy gunsmith work on these things to get them smooth. And I just think to myself, wow, did you have a really shitty one? But, I'm kind of a jerk too. So what I did was, see, look, it's humid out here, so it's getting kind of steamed. So what I did is, even when right after I got the rifle, I ordered a spring kit. And I ordered some stones. And I'm going to smooth out that action even more from what it is. I do plan on making it kind of, and I know I'm dry firing it a lot, but you know what? This has a safety on it. And the safety, I don't know if you can see this with the light. It's up here. The safety actually stops the hammer from making contact. So I could just leave it in the safe position and dry fire the shit out of this thing all day long. Which is mostly what I've been doing with it, because it's a lot of fun. I know I make it look harder than it is. It's because I'm leaning over my phone, which is on a stand, to make the video. But because I don't really want to, no one wants me in the video, trust me. Maybe someday I could hire a hot chick to get in front of the video. Wouldn't we all love that? So I know even the women would love to see a hot chick in front of the video more than they'd want to see me, trust me. So, I guess I get down a little bit, you can see. I don't know, I think it's smooth. It's really small, the rifle also. So I did lubricate it, and you can see it glossy in there. And I find the action works fine. It's kind of long-ish, but not really. I think they... Excuse me. I think that could be fixed too. Now, they made comments about the loading gate being sharp in here. And you know what? When I'm pushing on it like this, if I was pushing pressure down with a cartridge, which I haven't loaded this thing yet because I haven't been to the range, and I don't have I guess I could pull some dummy rounds into my 38s to do it. It's a good idea. So, but I could see how if you're repetitively throwing cartridges in there, yeah, you know what you can do? Here you go. Come on, where are you? Usually they just pop out on their own. I have dummies in here. I always keep dummies in here because this has, now this does have like one of those, it's like a semi-retractable firing pin. Is it 06? And there's another one in there somewhere. Where are you? There you are. So this has a semi-retractable firing pin on it. But it's at least enough that I don't want to dry fire. with it, so I put dummy caps in it. Snap caps, whatever you want to call it. Let me get this out of the way. This is Old Forester Statesman. No, it is not a sponsor, but it is a recommendation. It's actually a really good bourbon within the price range that I'm willing to shop at. So, whoop, I bumped it. Right, so we went, because this is a 38. All right, so it is a little stiff. Pushing it down there. I'll say that much. It is a little stiff. Let me get that on camera a little more. Now, I never had a side loader before. My Henry is the older model with the tube. You load it through the side of the tube. So, and I'm already having trouble pushing this thing in. All right, so I guess this is what they're talking about. In one of the videos, they were saying to shorten the spring in the tube because it puts more pressure on it than you want. See, I can't even get that in there. It's my first time doing this. I don't want to beat up my fingers. I don't want to beat up the end of the rifle on this metal table either, but wow, look at that. That's really something. And just like that, it's jammed. On camera, first time. See if I can't get you out of there. What's that for a fuss, huh? You guys are right here with me. No fancy edits or tricks. Although I might pause it and actually just fix this and come back, right? There we go. All right, let me see something. Alright, so it put it in the chamber. Ejected it. And it went flying. Whoa. Alright, so that part works, but apparently it doesn't like to load. Go get that other dummy round before it gets lost. Go on in, Tuck. It's the dog he wanted to go into. Alright, so there's that. Might be me. Could be a learning curve. Like I said, I haven't had a side gate before. I thought you just pushed the rounds in. Seemed like it only wanted to take, like, what was it, 3? You guys were counting, right? I wasn't counting. I know it holds one that. As a matter of fact, I think, honestly, and these are 38s. What's it going to be about here? I don't know exactly where it starts from with the load. I think it pushes it to, I can find out from looking through here. I'm an idiot, right? Oh, right there. So it looks like it should be able to hold 7 or 8 38 special, or probably 7 357 Magnum. I'm guessing. Like I said, I was trying to push them all in there. I don't want to like spend like 10, 12 minutes, you watching me on the camera just fighting to get all that in there. I'll figure it out later. Plus, I'm also trying to stand off camera, holding the gun at a weird angle. One of these days, I suck it up and just sit in front of the freaking camera, and maybe it'll work better, and that'll be that. But anyway, I picked this up. It was $5.99 at the local, at one of the smaller gun stores I went to. $5.99. And I do notice out here where I am, the smaller gun shops often have higher prices than the big box store, which is understandable because they're selling at a low volume. And I don't get those deals like you always, I see these other YouTubers like Honest Outlaw and stuff talk about like getting these things way under MSRP. And it's not that I don't get things under MSRP. I don't get the way under, you know what I mean? Like, they'll show a gun, I can't even think of an example off the top of my head, but, something that, like, I see in the stores like $525, and he'll say, you can pick them up for $400, and I'm just like, where? And I just think to myself, maybe they're just giving you the deal because they know that you got your channel, and you're doing, I don't know. I don't even want to make allegations because none of that might be true. But, maybe they're familiar with the people they're doing it with, so they give them a good deal all the time or whatever. I'm not exactly friendly with everybody that I do business with. I am friendly-ish. I go in there, I banter, I whatever else like that, but I'm not there frequent enough to actually get to know anybody enough to be all that, to get any kind of favor with anybody. But I don't see things for as cheap as people make it out to be. Like I keep hearing like this thing, you get it for like $450. Where? I don't know. If you know, let me know. Like, are the prices dramatically lower when you go shopping for a firearm under the MSRP where you shop than what they would be, than what the MSRP is? I mean, like, and if they are, is that your local store that you frequent, or is that at one of the box stores and what their prices are? Box stores, I mean like Sportsman's Warehouse or, oh shit, who are the big stores that sell guns anymore? Everyone stopped doing it for a while, right? I don't even know. I go to Sportsman's Warehouse. Not to be confused with Sportsman Guide. That's an online thing, although you can order from Sportsman's Warehouse online also. And, or I buy from Palmetto State Armory online. Now, Palmetto, you could buy things from them significantly lower than they often stick around because they have sales on stuff all the time. But, all right, so that was a little sad. Now, I think there's a way to fix that. To either, I don't know. I know that the one video I was watching, he took the spring out of the tube, and he literally cut it ends up it's much longer than it needs to be. I think he cut like 4 inches off of it or something like that. I'll gotta pull it out. I'll find out. And I think there's a way to soften the spring on that too. There is a way to make it easier, is my point. And you may be thinking, why should I have to make it easier? I just bought a new rifle, right? And aside from, I'm sure if I keep using it, it'll break in easier anyway. But at the price point that this rifle is, I don't think it's unreasonable to say, you got to do a few tweaks with it. But I'm also one of them old school weirdos that I don't leave any of my cars totally stock. Even if I'm just changing exhaust, everything's always getting tinkered with. I like to tinker. I used to be an automobile tech, and so I like to turn wrenches. I like to play with stuff. So, there's that. I don't know what more to talk about. I mean, it's already almost 18 minutes in. I'm boring the hell out of people today. Try to be more entertaining. I could talk more about sociology and politics, but I try to save those for different videos that I haven't had time to sit down and do also. But, I'm not James Reeves. I'm not going to sit here and say guns and no politics. No, I don't really view politics from a political lens so much as I do a sociological lens anyway. And I do have this whole thing where, I don't like the way they teach sociology now because they teach it just basically based on partisan politics of whatever they determine them to be. Because if you have somebody teaching you who leans one way or another, they're not going to really be giving you the honest expression of what the other side may be thinking anyway. And then when you take into account what politics are when it comes to parties, the parties may have foundational, ideologies, but that doesn't mean they necessarily represent the people that are voting for them. Absolutely. They have to bend a little bit. I mean, I'm one of these people that believes a congressman or, a representative, if you're elected, you should be representative of everybody within the district you were elected to, not just the people who voted for you. Once you're in there, you're responsible to represent everybody. So if they're opposing views to something that's being pushed in your district and you're steadfast to go through with it anyway, I think you should reconsider. But, we haven't, and I know that sounds democratic even in some stages where you just think, well, the majority just gets what they want. But they really don't. See, look, I'm going on a rant. Look at your Democratic Party. They cry, my democracy. Their democracy is what they're talking about. Because if we had the absolute democracy that they want, first of all, they might win a few smaller elections or whatever. They wouldn't always get, if they did away with the Electoral College vote, they're not always going to get the presidency. That's just the reality of it. But more importantly, they don't care about the democracy because most of the really big legislation that's really screwed over this country in the last 30 years, happened under Democrats, and was usually stuff that the country was on a majority was opposing. I mean, like I'll give you an example. The majority of the nation wanted stronger border controls. And when Democrats win, they weaken the border. The majority of Americans opposed Obamacare, and they pushed it through anyway. So see, there was no democracy at work. There was another one I was thinking of, too, earlier today. Oh, the majority of Americans believe that you should have to prove citizenship to vote. But they're not passing anything with that in it either. And it just goes on and on like that, you know? We keep seeing these polls that say the majority, which, if you're going by a democratic, a democracy, you should go with the majority. But they don't, do they? They want their majority to have to say. Even if their majority is a minority of what the whole is, the majority of their party, their constituency, their partisanship. Seems to go other ways. And Republicans are just as guilty, but they're not the ones, touting their democracy. But obviously they're just as guilty because they would have passed that SAVE Act already, right? And it goes on and on and on. The majority of Americans don't want higher taxes. And yet we keep finding more ways to increase fees and taxes. Right? The majority of Americans don't believe the government should be involved in every facet of our lives. But they seem to keep increasing the amount of influence they have over the things we're allowed to do. And it goes on and on and on. I'm pretty sure the majority of Americans didn't want Biden to throw a rave on the White House lawn to celebrate Pride Month. And I'm pretty sure the majority of Americans didn't like that there's naked men flailing themselves in front of children. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. This is just me. It's anecdotal, right? But I'm just saying. So where is the democracy exactly? We're not getting any kind of democracy. They're talking about because people vote for them? And the worst thing is that there's too many people not voting, in the sense that the majority doesn't want this stuff, and yet not enough people get off their ass to go. And I'm going to say this, and I should say this at the end of every video, whether I'm going to be political or not, that the reality is people who believe in the Second Amendment, or at least firearm owners, when you think about it, we probably have, they underestimate them. I believe there's somewhere around 120 million firearm owners in this country. They said there's more than 400 million firearms out there. They usually guesstimate ownership around 70 million, but I think it's more like 120, because they weren't always tracking it also, mind you. So I think that even if you got 90% of the people who want to preserve their right to keep and bear arms alone, just voted, the country would be in a whole another direction. This is the reality. This is difficult too. Oh. Alright, so that's my show, right? I don't know, help me out here, kids. What could I do to make this more entertaining instead of me just bitching about stuff all the time? Putting a fire on the table. I don't know, I actually kind of like my videos where I'm throwing the ball to the dog once in a while. I'm a simple guy. But the dog was out here. The problem was very humid today, and he didn't seem to want to bring the ball up. He just wanted to go inside and cool out. This is what I should be doing, just chilling out. I'm over here. And no, I'm not drinking today. It's my detox day. I drank last night. I just one glass. That's all. I did it for the scene. Look, there's no cool. You got a little gun belt, the pistol over there, Western style little rifle there. That rifle is little, by the way, and handy. So, I'll talk to you soon.